Hey everybody, I'm Caleb.
I'm Graham.
We're here to talk about garbage disposals. We have a sink that is blocked up here and the garbage disposal isn't working. And so for tenants, there are often many ways that you can kind of investigate a clogged sink with a garbage disposal in it before you call a handyman. So Graham, when you look at this, what are your first thoughts?
Well, it looks like it's clogged up with food waste. So we would want to see if, first of all, make sure the garbage disposer is working. So switch it on and see if we hear it. Okay, so we can hear it spinning, but it's still not clearing. So then we want to make sure that there's nothing jamming it inside.
Okay, so would you suggest I reach in and look to clear it?
No, I would never recommend anyone put their hand in there other than have a professional come out and do that. Because if it's tripped and it suddenly comes back on and your hand's in there, you know, it's...
I like all of my fingers.
We all like all of our fingers.
Okay, so what's one of the first things you do, just as a tenant, other than reaching my hand in? Is there any other way I can see if it's stuck or try to get it unstuck before?
Yeah, so if we go underneath the sink, and we can see the garbage disposal there. Most of them have a little hole underneath, and then we have this hex key tool. Hopefully everybody has one, but you can buy these at Home Depot if you need to. And this little hex key fits up inside that hole and locks in place, and then you can make sure that this is free to turn. Sometimes you get little bits of food that go hard and it might be a little jammed, so if you give it a good wiggle you can normally free them up. But if you get other things like spoons, knives, forks, glass, anything like that gets in there and jams it, you may not be able to free this up. And if that's the case, then I would call somebody out. Quite often we have to drop them down to fish stuff out. So,
okay. Can you talk about the piping underneath?
Yeah, so this one comes straight down into a P-trap, which is quite good because it's not joining the line from the other sink. A lot of them will have a line that goes straight across to the other sink and going through a T. And that T has a little piece in there, so that line then becomes half width. So if you're putting big chunks of food down there, you can easily block that up. Whereas with this one, even though it churns it up a little bit, this one actually has full pipe flow, so it's a better design.
And then what about power? Like if you turn it on and you don't see any, you don't hear anything.
Yeah. So if you don't hear anything at all, and you've flicked the switch a couple of times, there's also underneath here, there'll be a little red button that pops out. It's a safety trip. So if it gets stuck and it starts to get hot, it pops it to protect itself. I can't see it on this one, but it will be there. Oh, there it is, yeah. So obviously we know this one spins and it hasn't tripped. But yeah, just push that little button in, make sure it's free to turn, and then try again with your switch to see if it spins. Do
any garbage disposals have other ways of using power? You know, like the outlet, at the outlet?
Well, you could trip the breaker or you could trip a GFCI. It depends on the makeup. And sometimes the GFCI may not be where it actually plugs in. It may be in the breaker box itself. So
making sure all your breakers are operational.
Yeah.
Turn them off and on. Making sure there's no, trigger here at the source of being plugged in. Okay. Anything else for tenants to know?
No, I think once if they can get it to spin with the key and it's not tripped, and when they turn the power on, it's running. If it still doesn't clear it, then again you need to call someone out because you've got a blockage in your line. Unless they're happy dropping a P-trap, but yeah, it's probably best not to.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hopefully that's helpful for any of you who have a clogged garbage disposal. You can try a couple things yourself before you call us in.